All right, what's good, people? This is your boy Chief Akachi coming at you with a video. Got a little long drive, so I might as well make a video. But I'm gonna give y'all some wisdom, especially y'all young boys out here. Some of y'all moving foul because of this, and some of y'all initiated the moving foul to attract a woman like this. I know when there was a lot of peer pressure when we was younger to be one of the cool kids, because women want swag and all that old silly shit. But the older you get, the more you realize these women ain't shit that want those type of men. Because look at their results when they get older. They don't have long-lasting relationships built on trust, openness, and safe and all that stuff. They continue to have sexual relationships. Are normally the type of women that want bad boys. I think a lot of times what happens, because they always want to demonize the man in the situation and make it seem as if the man is the problem. But nah, it's just you wasn't feminine, woman. And when that man eventually grew out of that, or when he started to realize that you were problematic in his life, he decided to change and do something different to get a better result. They don't do that. These type of women. And that's the women. It's not that they like bad boys, okay? They want a crash out that they can control. Because if you're a strategic man, even if you're in the streets, a lot of those type of women don't care for those type of guys either. If you move strategic and avoid prison and all that stuff like that, she'll turn around and cannibalize you just so you can have the experience of going to jail. She'll put a domestic on you. Just so you'll have the experience. You'll have the experience. They don't mind throwing these men under the bus when they want a good man later on in life to be a crash out. They don't want a good man. They want to change a good man. Because what it is this. They're choosing the opposite ends of the spectrum so that they can level set that man to the attractiveness level that they will have, that they want for him. Let me explain that. So if she chooses a good guy, she wants him to have some edge. If she chooses a street dude, she wants him to be relatively under her control. It's all about control, fellas. And I'm going to keep expounding on this. It's not all women. Not all women think like this. There are good women that are not going to put you in these positions. But I'm giving you the tools to see how so you can vet the woman. A good woman doesn't want you to crash out. A good woman will do stuff like this. Baby, look at me. Look at me. Don't get angry. Baby, it's okay. Baby, do not crash out, please. I don't want you in prison. I don't want you in trouble. She'll not go out because she'll go out with you or not go out or dress appropriately so that you don't have to crash out. Because her goal is, because a good woman is nurturing. That's a part of the nurture. That's how you nurture a man. A good woman is a sheath to your sword. So when she know you on the war path, especially when she knows that it could potentially get you in trouble, in a dangerous situation. Now, I'm not saying that she's going to completely prevent you from every risk and all that stuff. That's not. She'll even do it for her own children. But what she is going to do is make sure that you don't have to crash out. So she's not going to cheat knowing that I know my man and I know if I cheat on him and how he will feel and what he will do possibly if I cheat. But like I said, this is why a lot of you men don't understand how to pick a decent woman. Now, I'm not saying I'm not saying that if you continue to dog this woman, she ain't gonna eventually do she ain't gonna eventually excuse herself from the situation. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that she's not gonna put you in a position to crash out, regardless of if she feels justified in doing so or not. That justified crash out shit is non-existent. Crash out is a crash out. The crash out is an irrational moment in which someone becomes extremely violent or confrontational. So it don't even necessarily have to be always physical. It can be verbal confrontation. It can be verbal confrontational. But she's not going to put you in a position where that's going to be your response. But a problematic woman, signal or nothing. A problematic woman wants to put you in position to crash out. Okay? She don't mind. She actually gets excited off of it. She gets excitement. The type of women that be in the hood, that be arguing with men, and then when the situation gets too much for her to handle, she wants her man to step in. See, a woman that doesn't want you to crash out is not going to argue with no man. She's not going to argue with that man. She gonna let that man. She gonna say, "Look, you the boss." She's just gonna excuse herself from the situation. She's gonna call her man and allow him to handle it from the very beginning. She's not gonna sit there and argue with the man. Those type of women should be avoided at all costs. Okay? Those type of women that constantly got you fighting other dudes, constantly and always in a man face, arguing with a man, avoid her ass. Once you see that behavior, that should be the end of the conversation. I knew this for a fact myself, because I was dating this woman, and this is the first time your boy got him. I wasn't in no situation because I knew how to avoid it, because I avoided future situations from happening, because I wasn't there that time. And I told her ass, you probably shouldn't be going out if you keep having confrontation with people and getting drunk. But I saw the crash out she had with a woman, in which I was able to break it up, and I told her, I reprimanded her for that. Once we got in the car, I said, you could have avoided that situation. Why are you crashing out on this person? I don't know them. I don't know the whole situation of beef or whatever. Because she was talking shit. About what? What is it? What justifies you now wanting to fight her because of what she's saying? I would have just brushed it off. Hey, I don't care what you say, but don't put your hands on me. That's when I care. That's when that mode kicks in. But a woman that wants you to crash out on the man wants a controlled crash out. That she wants a crash out that she can control. Those are problematic women. Okay? See, a feminine woman will not put you in that position. If the situation just so happens to present herself as a woman, she'll excuse herself from the situation and not try to make it worse. Maybe even possibly try to get your back, or try to prevent the crash out from happening by saying, no, look, let's just have a good time. Let's not do this. But that woman, she'll be over there edging you on and beat his ass. Yeah, you better beat his ass. Or if you decide to handle it the diplomatic way, she'll be like, nah, you should put your hands on him. You're just gonna sit here and let him talk to me like this? Those are women that want controllable crash outs. Because a woman would not even have put herself in that position to where now you as a man have to put up a shut up about protecting her. A woman avoids those type of situations. You understand what I'm saying? Like my lady don't want me to crash out. A good woman does not want her man to crash out because she knows the potential of what could happen in that crash out. Yeah, you think your man is big, bad, and motherfucking bold, and he takes on somebody who's secretly concealing the gun. And instead of fighting, the dude shoots him. He gets to drop on him first. Now your man is dead. See, those type of women, this is the reason why a lot of black men are losing their lives or going to prison. Because we doing this shit over women that operate like this. And guess what those women do? She'll have you crash out on her boyfriend, say she's lying. She's just mad at her boyfriend at the moment. She'll lie, say he did something to her. You go over there and crash out on her behalf. This even goes for family members. You go over there and crash out on his behalf. Come to find out she's lying. Now your ass in jail for the rest of your natural born life. If anything, if that's the situation, you should encourage her to call the police. Let the law enforcement resolve that. You should not be crashing out on her behalf. She should not be putting her hands on you. None of that. That's a bad woman, bro. When do you think she's gonna turn that manipulation tactic onto you? You think she's never going to do that to you? I've seen too many guys who would crash out on a woman's behalf, and then next thing you know, he's in a position of the man that he crashed out on. I had a homeboy who went through that. Her new boyfriend crashed out on her behalf, right? Or was willing to crash out on her behalf. Him and my homeboy fought. He had to go spend the night in jail. Then she dropped the charges. Then guess what happened? She wound up doing the same exact thing to that dude that crashed out, the new boyfriend. Those type of women are treacherous, bro. They're only going to lead you down a path of destruction. Because whether it's the cemetery or jail, she doesn't care about your well-being. That's all you need to be concerned about. A good woman is not going to put you in that position, bro. She don't even like you being in those situations unwarranted. Even if she doesn't have involvement, she gonna tell you, baby, no, you should handle it this way. Handle it through the proper channels, and handle it the diplomatic, the legal way. Dude, I don't want you out there selling drugs. I don't want you out there taking penitentiary chances. I don't want you. A good woman is not going to want you to be out there doing that shit. And they do exist, bro. And then it's not just woman that was raised right and all this stuff. Sometimes you can find that woman in a woman that's from the hood that didn't exactly have the right circumstances, but she had the right upbringing. Because that's what it really boils down to. A woman's upbringing is going to declare. Look at her mama. men she's ever dealt with have been in jail on her behalf? Or they express that? Because sometimes it could be a man she could have a man, or she could have a father, she could have a father in the home, and he could have said, I did time for her. That's not a good woman, bro. And those women do not deserve a man. As a matter of fact, men need to start being aware of this shit. This can apply to other cultures and other men too. Stop going for these chicks that will put you in a position to crash out. Okay? A woman that will put you in a position to crash out does not give a fuck about you at all. She don't care about your well-being, safety, none of that. And when you stop becoming useful to her, or when she can no longer use you, she will discard you. It's not coming from a place of hurt. It's coming from a place of experience and understanding the difference. Because I've had decent women that did not want me to crash out. That's how I can tell whether a woman likes me or not. She'll ask random men to crash out on her behalf. She'll intentionally exaggerate or make a scene seem a certain way to other men in the vicinity to come to her rescue. She will do that. And do you think that she'll cover your funeral costs? Do you think she'll even show up to your funeral if you crash out on her behalf? Hell no. But a good woman will be like, no, it's okay. I don't want to make this any bigger than what it is. Me and my man are just having an argument. I would appreciate it if you not involve yourself. She would do that. Unless she was really in danger. But see, if she was really in danger, you would see the danger. Not the argument. Stop crashing out on niggas because of arguments that he's having with his woman. If he's not actively, physically choking her, push, shove, and spit, bite, if he ain't doing none of that shit, you shouldn't even involve yourself. A lover's quarrel is exactly that, between lovers. And you should not be involved. But you got women who'll do it. And that's problematic. Those women are problematic. This whole Me Too, if she supports that shit in any kind of way and doesn't see the logic of why that shit can be dangerous, she ain't a good woman. Tarana Burke herself, the original founder of the movement, has even came out and said, do not believe all women. That was never a sentiment of her of her original mission statement. That's a bullshit that was hijacked and added to the movement to weaponize victimhood. She couldn't see that. And she's the founder of the movement. And I agree with the original purpose of it. I think it was necessary. And eventually I would have hoped that it would have also counted young black boys eventually. Or initially it should have counted young black boys. But hey, maybe we could have raised that concern had the movement went in the direction that it was supposed to. According to the original mission statement. But see, like I said, we got a bunch of problematic women in society that's causing all this chaos. And we as men need to be more vigilant of that. If a woman is selling the victimhood narrative too much, I'm the victim here. Like that girl, that DoorDasher chick that claimed that man sexually assaulted her when she broke an entry. She entered his home unwarranted. She was instructed to just leave the food at the door. She did way beyond that. But I understand why she did what she did. Because she's a problematic woman. And it's time we stop rewarding bad behavior. These women are not deserving of marriage. They're not deserving of protection, provision. Any woman that lies should be left out on her own. Prime example of this, and this is what inspired the video of my thoughts on this subject. What's the name? Brick Lady. Y'all know her as Brick Lady. She went by Rhoda something. I forgot her last name. She's a problematic woman. She expects protection when she is actively dating women. First of all. Second of all, you've already been exposed as being a scammer. Now her ass is sitting in a fucking jail cell. Probably getting ready to be transferred to where she's going to serve her time. And this should be the end result for all women like that. Because these women are the ones that are causing the chaos in society. See, y'all want to blame gang violence a lot of times in situations in the streets of why there's a large amount of black men dying. Sometimes it's over a woman. It's over a man trying to defend the honor of a problematic woman. I actually believe that 80% of the reasons why men are sitting in the penitentiary now is over that. Whether he was the perpetrator, whether he was the person who was the controlled crash out. Not like a good woman does not want you to crash out. Especially if she loves you. If she professes to love you and care about you, she don't want you to crash out. I've seen it in proximity. Where I've seen it in secondhand, where the women would try to handle a domestic violence dispute themselves rather than allow the men in their family to handle it, because they know that the men in their family will crash out. Now, that's a situation where you should let men handle it. I believe you should let men handle that situation. But women will say, hey, I don't want my uncle in jail, you know, I don't want my person to ruin his life. Grandfather, father, uncle, brother, whoever. A prime example of that is the Travis Travis Parker? I think that's the dude's name. Where that chick lied on him. That's why I started a petition online for women who commit proximity murders or proximity violence to be harshly punished. Though they should get the same amount of time and they should get a RICO case. It's almost like hiring a hitter. You don't need problematic women in your life like this. I don't give a fuck if it's your mama, your sister, whoever. If she's willing to put you in danger by trying to make you her crash out on the leash, where you crash out on her behalf, you don't ask questions, you're not logical, you just crash out. That woman is undeserving of your protection and your time and space. She's undeserving of that. You need to avoid her at all costs. Else you're gonna find yourself in the grave or the penitentiary. That's my spiel.